Hello everybody. Today I will presentation about chapter 6 activity based costing. Product cost calculation is done by adding up our component of product cost, namely the cost of raw materials, direct labor cost, and overhead costs. There are two approaches that are commonly used, namely the conventional approach, single and departmental rates, and the contemporary approach, activity based costing. Raw material cost is the use of materials that can be traced directly into the product or service product produced. Example of raw materials: wood in furniture factory, steel in car factories, flour in bakeries, and fuel in airlines. Direct labor cost is a workforce that can be tracked directly into products or services produced. Example: carpenter in furniture factory, welders in car factory, and pilots in airlines. Overhead costs are production costs other than raw materials and direct labor. Example: factory foreman salaries, factory engine maintenance technician salaries, and the cost of using diesel engine fuel for electricity in the factory. Cost per unit is the cost incurred to produce each unit of product. Cost per unit equal total cost divide number of units produced. The importance of determining product cost. Management needs to determine the cost per product unit for various purposes, both strategic and tactical, including the following. First one, basic pricing. If management know the cost of production, they will be able to determine price that would not otherwise cause harm to the company. 2. Basic decision making. If management knows the cost of producing a product, then they can compare it with the selling price of competing products. Based on this, the manager will be able to determine whether the product should be stopped production or can continue. Determination of cost per product unit. Cost per unit equal total raw material cost plus total direct labor cost plus factory overhead cost, and then the answer of that divided by total units produced. Actual cost. The actual cost approach is the calculation of the cost of a product or service using the actual cost incurred for raw material, direct labor, and factory overhead. The actual cost in terms of production are all costs incurred to produce the product from the pre-production stage until the product is finished being produced. Normal cost. The normal cost approach is to determine the cost of a product or service using the actual cost of raw materials and labor, while the overhead cost is charged based on the estimate overhead cost used in one period. Overhead rates equal overhead cost budget divided by activity use budget. Product cost determination methods. Single rate. Under a single rate approach, overhead costs are assumed to be only triggered by one trigger at all production facilities, factories, and products. There are two steps in calculating product overhead. First one, determination of overhead charging rate. 2. Charging overhead. Determination of overhead charging rates. The overhead budget is accumulated into one for the entire factory with the following step. First one, costs are accumulated simply by directly adding up all costs expected to occur during one period in one plant active facility. 2. After the costs are accumulated, the charging rate is calculated based on 1 unit level driver. Overheads equal overhead cost budget divided by activity use budget. Charging overhead costs. Overhead are charged to the product using a predetermined rate. Total overhead is charged equal overhead rates times actual activity. After the factorial overhead charged to the product is known, the final step in calculating the product cost is to add it up to the actual cost of the raw material used plus the actual direct labor cost. Departmental rates. Based on this method, the imposition of overhead cost is done at each department in the factory. Imposition is done with the assumption that each department has different overhead figures than the other departments. The steps of product cost calculation with departmental rates are as follows. The overhead costs throughout the plants are divided and put into groups. Production department group so that the department cost group is obtained. Overhead rates equal overhead cost budget divided by activity use budget. Overhead are charged to the product by multiplying the department's overhead rate and the number of figures used by the department's product. The advantage of a unit-based cost system. The advantage of unit-based cost system is its ease of application. The data need is relatively simple, so it does not require sophisticated and expensive information to get it. Although simple, the system is still adequate for use in business that produce uniform products or service one type, or there are not many variations of the production process. The weakness of the unit-based cost system. Although the unit-based cost system has long been used, but this system often results in distortion in the determination of product cost. As a result, in conditions of intense competition, companies often become wrong in making decisions based on product cost information, so that companies lose in competition. This problem is often not realized by management. As a result, management blames other costs for its defeat in this competition. Related to this, management often draw conclusions. Errors in drawing conclusions are largely due to the outdated cost system. Determination of the cost of contemporary product. ABC is a cost calculation approach that imposes resource cost into cost objects, such as products, service, or consumer, based on activity carried out for cost object. The premise of this approach is that a component product or service is the result of activity, and activity is the use of resources that produce cost. Based on this premise, there are two basic beliefs in ABC. First one, costs are the result of carry out activities, and activity are the cause of costs. Two, cost of costs can be managed. Two-step loading procedure. The first step in this procedure is to charge overhead to the activity or activity cost center on the basis of an appropriate resource consumption trigger. The second step, impose the cost of an activity or group of activity cost into the cost of object using the basis for triggering the appropriate activity cost consumption in measuring the demand for the cost object for the activity. ABC system step 1. Identify resource and activity costs. 2. Allocate cost to cost object. 3. Allocate activity cost into cost object. Benefit of activity-based costing. First one, better profitability measurement. 2. Better decision making. 3. Process improvement. 4. Estimate cost. 5. Determination of unused capacity costs. Limitation on activity-based costing. First, allocation. 2. Waiver of fee. 3. Cost and time. Just that my presentation. Thank you everybody.